Good morning and happy Monday. I hope everybody here had a great weekend. I know great week last week as far as sales go. I know it's been really sunny here in Southern California, but it seems like by the beaches there's just been a ton of clouds. My friends in the northern states say that they've had really weird weather this week, going anywhere from the 70s all the way down to having snow the next day. It's been kind of crazy, I guess, in Michigan and Minnesota. I've been getting some pretty interesting pictures about that. So this week we're talking about goals and goal setting. And salespeople, this should be very important to us. It's something that we spend a lot of time doing. With that in mind, I thought we'd start with a really good Zig Ziglar quote. A goal properly set is halfway reached. Again, properly set. This is very true in goal setting because properly setting a goal, it's a bit of work. I'm not going to lie. You have to put a little bit in on the front end. It takes about an hour or so to do, but the outcome is well worth it. Taking the first step is just really getting yourself moving in the right direction. So happy Motivation Monday, everyone. Again, this is the layout. We have a few new people here on the phone. So tip of the week, which is going to be some update incentive information there. We'll go through some AHCP sales trends, and in the end, we're going to end with the sales technique, which again is going to be goal setting this week. So to take a look at the tip of the week for last week, we had two of them that we kind of took a look at. We took a look at the prime major medical business states. And again, the reason why we took a look at the major medical is for the ancillary market. To take a look at what states we are doing the most business in, and with the major medical, people are making a lot of those more insurance packages, adding on the dental, adding on the vision, adding on all the additional things. So taking a look at maybe license in Texas or California, as well as effectively using the AHCPsales.com website. So if you have not used that yet, please go there, sign up in the upper right-hand corner. Again, when you first get into it, it's going to send you an email that you have to make sure to click because it's a verification email. If not, it's not going to work out so great. And as far as it goes with sales, excuse me there. So we're going to be taking a look at the different companies as far as it goes for tips of this week for the incentive area. And I want to go back one more. Here we go. To let you know where the incentive information is on the AHCP sales website. If you have not done so yet, a lot of the carriers are doing specific sales incentives. They're located under each carrier on the left-hand side where you see the new appointment paperwork, where you see the brochures. Under it will be the current sales incentives. I have three that we are going to take a look at this morning. The first one is through NGL. They are going to Playa del Carmen this year. It looks absolutely fantastic for those people who are going to get to go. So it's sales between 1/1 and 12/29. And then you can see at the bottom there too, depending on what the total net volume is, it's what you kind of get as a reward. If you have not been on one of these sales vacations, they are really great. They treat you really well. Everything is specifically rented out for you. Big group of people, just a lot of fun. I would recommend trying to work for these. They are really a great reward. The second one is the Premier Company. They are going to the Secrets Playa Bonita, Panama. Really gorgeous area. It is a point-based one. And again, these are all on those AHCPsales.com websites under the individual carriers. So this one, the point-based, they need 100 points. I just took a little snippet there at the bottom of what it takes to get a point. A lot of different combinations there. It's actually a whole page document. I just took the first 4 lines. And again, it's going to be qualifying business from 1/1 to 12/31. And these are vacations in 2017. So you know what's going to happen after open enrollment. You are going to want to relax and kind of get away. These are two pretty good ones here. So Panama, I would absolutely love to go to that one. And then the last one, good old Dublin. It's kind of weird, most people do like nice tropical vacations. Surety decided to go the Europe way. So it's for those that have $125,000 in premium with a minimum of 6 policies. There are a few more details other than that, obviously, because that would be great and just hop on a plane and go to Dublin there. It's November 2015 business through December 2016. With this one, you will have to log into Surety's website as well to get any more details on that, because there are some specific product weights and things like that. I Dublin though, I mean, you have the choice of Panama or Dublin as far as sales incentives go. To get the details on these though, yep, make sure to go to the ahcpsales.com website and under each specific product. So to take a look at the trends, we do this every week just to figure out kind of what's going on, to see what other people are maybe selling or areas of gaps that we're missing here. So in major medical, there is just the overall decrease in the market. It is nothing too shocking, not big blazing in red there, just with open enrollment being done. This is just something that happens and kind of how it works. We are, though, on a very positive note, so a huge increase in short-term medical. That's kind of going to be our bread and butter right now for the next few months. But as far as it goes, compared to March of last year, right now, currently, the last numbers I got is we were 18% in overall sales higher than March of 2015. So it was a really good year. There was a lot of sales as far as it goes, a lot of things that were happening. The rest of the numbers this week, though, I mean, they're not enthralling. They're not super entertaining. Everything's just kind of leveling, minus short term. Accident plans, again, no real change. As far as it goes, there was an increase in the AHCP and the time insurance company plan enhancer with those riders. So we saw an increase in that. In the short term as well, it was basically just the NHIC, the interim care, was the most common one. It's about 70 to 80% of all of our short-term sales. And we are starting to see some limited benefit plans come through. And those usually come with quite a bit of the ancillary products, so you're really giving your client kind of as much protection as physically possible there. Some people would write those because they are, fixed benefits, the limited benefits are easier to go through, but keep in mind with the short term, there is a guaranteed issue product. That has actually been increasing. I told you guys last week, it looks like it was kind of leveling off. It had a slight increase last week as far as the guaranteed issue goes. And in critical illness, an ever so small slight decrease. Looks like we're just doing a lot of Healthy America gap there. And in dental, there is no real change. So overall in numbers last week, we were consistent, which is good. Total volume-wise, just higher, but no weird spikes as far as it goes with products. Everything was just kind of consistent. So nothing too entertaining for you guys. I'm a little sorry about that, but I dug through it and there's nothing that was kind of mind-blowing. So I guess we will just kind of jump in to the goal setting sales technique. So goal setting, it seems kind of obvious working in sales, but let me tell you that a lot of my sales team members that I go work with, when I get in, they kind of had a concept of goals, but it was just not very well developed. They were just poorly developed. And people who have effectively set goals are extremely more successful than those that don't. I personally, I'm a huge fan of goal setting. I do it for myself, and it is one of the first things I look at when I work with one of my new salespeople one-on-one. I ask them what their goals are, and they say, I want to make a lot of money. I'm like, well, all of us want to make a lot of money. And we kind of have to figure out what it is that they want and how they're going to get there. That is the point of goal setting, is for you to spend the time to kind of reflect back into what is it I want that is actually what I want, and then how am I going to actually get there? So let's take a look at some numbers to start with. These are numbers from an MBA graduating class at Harvard, and you can find these numbers in a lot of studies. They're pretty common out there. So first off, it states that 83% of people, this is 83% of people in general, as far as the population goes, have no goals. They've done no goal setting. How can you have no goals? That's kind of crazy. I know in sales, we have a slight idea what goals are. Hopefully today we're going to be able to improve that a little bit. But yeah, they have no goals. Goals, I would compare it to kind of building a house, let's say. So not having goals is just like having a builder say, hey, I'm going to build you a house without actually having an architect there. Yes, it can get done. I'm not saying that it can't get done. Yes, it can. With enough work, you will eventually get there. It's going to take a lot more work. It's going to take a lot more time. It's going to take a lot more money to build that house than when you have the architect who spends his time planning everything out for you. So again, I mean, goals are really important here. Now, it said these numbers too. 14% of people have goals in their head, meaning that they have an idea of where they want to go or what they want to do. The people with goals in their head, they are 10 times more successful than people with no goals. just by kind of planning it out, thinking about it, that raises their success rate 10 times. It's pretty good. And those that write it down, only 3% of the people, 3%, write down their goals. And those that write it down, because they're going to spend the time thinking about it, they're going to spend the time developing their plan, 30 times more successful. But again, only 3% of the people do it. Now, kind of a few more numbers that I thought were interesting. As far as goal setting goes, about 42% of the people will try to do goal setting. So 83% have no goals, don't have them written down, don't really have the plan. But there are some of them that tried. 42% of people will try to do goal setting. Of those 42%, over 70% of them will quit their goal within 15 days. So there's more than just writing a goal down. Yes, you can write it down, good for you, that's great, but it also kind of constant work and evolution. There's one quote in actually Alice in Wonderland, of all books, by Lewis Carroll, that I thought was really an accurate representation of why we should do goal setting. So it's in the part of the book, it says, Alice comes to a fork in the road, having no idea which fork to take. She encounters the Cheshire Cat, who asks Alice where she wants to end up. Alice answers, well, she has no idea where she's going, in which the Cheshire Cat replies, in that case, either fork will do. So the goals help give you directions. You remember all the crazy stuff that happened to Alice in that book, but goals help give you directions, kind of gives you an area to steer. So there are 5 steps in designing a successful goal. Again, this is something that, as we talked about earlier, that you're going to write down. This is a goal that you're going to keep close to you. The first step, or really tip, I guess, when it comes to designing a goal is that you want it to be specific about your goal. You want to get specific about the result as well. You need to know the who. You need to know the what. You need to know the when, the where, the why. The goal setting, when you're goal setting, do everything in a present tense. So it's the I want, I will, I am. Well, doing that, you want to state it like you've already achieved it as well. So one of the things would say, I will make $100,000 this year. And keep in mind the why. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to go on vacation? Do you want to pay down bills, get a new car? What is it specifically? You want to get specific about this goal. A lot of times what happens to me is I come in, as I said, I sit down with somebody that they say, I want to make a lot of money. What's a lot of money? That's objective to everybody. That's just something that's not helpful. What is a lot of money? How much more do you want to do? To be really good at goal setting, you need to know what point B is going to look like if you want to go from point A to point B, right? So you have to put some thought into what you want to do, where do you want to be. If you get to the point B early, congratulations, set another goal, keep it going. When it comes to also being specific, one thing that I notice a lot in goals is that people sometimes don't stay the most positive about it. Keep everything positive and keep it attainable. This is something you're going to be looking at and adjusting if need. Goals are fluid things, and they can change as the market does. So first thing is you need to keep specific. If you're going to do an amount, which we're in sales, and most of us do sales for money, let's be kind of honest there. It's how much money do you want to make and kind of what do you want to do with it. Also, the second is that you want to make it measurable. This is two-sided, really. Measurables, the how much is also measurable, but it's what is success as well. All goals need an action, and knowing that, yes, you want to make $100,000 is measurable, but by doing what? What will you do different to achieve that goal? Goal setting is not about saying, I want something. That's called wishing. That's completely different. It's really about creating an action plan that you look at to get to the end. So you want to make $100,000. Okay, to help make more money for a down payment on a new house by getting a new license in California and getting 3 new sales from that a week. There's a lot of measurables in that. I personally think that's great because one of the things with goals too that I notice is that people, yes, they set that huge goal. A really common one I know is weight loss as well. If we're going to go there, people say, hey, I want to lose 100 pounds. Great. You need to make it in small edible chunks. You want to make $100,000? Absolutely, completely doable. We need to make it in small measurable chunks that that you can look at along the way. If you bite off more than you can chew, that is usually the first step for failure. So a little story, I have a friend, she is the queen of goal setting. Every week when I talk with her, there's always a new goal. She's really, really, really great on it, but she misses the step on making it into small edible chunks. Usually every week it's really close to the same goal too. So she kind of has the front end part down, not as much of the moving on part, but one of those things is that if you're going to want to make more money or want to do something, you are going to want to set yourself check marks along the way that you can take a look at that, am I doing it? It's easier for people to know what the long-term goal is, but also have a short-term one that they can work towards. We like to have instant gratification. As salespeople, we are instant gratified animals. That is just what we are. It's in our nature. And knowing that we have a smaller goal, I usually do mine weekly because monthly it would be really hard for me. So for me, whenever I did my sales goal, it'd be something I want weekly. So I can move to that week and know I can be successful. Or if I'm noticing a trend, I can actually start adjusting it. Keep in mind too that with these goals, a lot of people drop out after 15 days. So really, if you can make it past those first 15 days and kind of start setting that habit, that is really good. Third item there is actionable. So again, this is an action plan. You need the how and the date. A lot of people is, again, I want to make a lot of money. By when? How will you know if this is going to work? Do you want to make a lot of money this year? Do you want to make a lot of money next year? You know, what do you want? So set the how and the date. So what are your marks and what are you going to do? Again, we'll use the goal I said earlier, attain that new state license and working with new prospects to get that specific number of sales. This is helping me create the mental picture of the dots between point A and point B and make sure it's relevant to you. I was working on goal setting with a new agent he was about 23. All the agents around him, you know, they're saying, I want to make 125, I want to make 100,000. Him, he's like, honestly, Dan, you know, I just want to make about $55,000. He did way better, might add. That is extremely relevant to him. That is what matters to him. That is what he needs. That is what he wanted. Instead of trying to do the same as, you know, maybe the big dogs that have been in the industry for more than 15 days, you know, that you have to make it relevant and important to you. Just like when you're working with a customer, think of it that way. You know, when you're working with a customer, it's really what's in it for them, not what's in it for you. So again, with the goal setting, it's what is relevant and important to you. And the last one is extremely, extremely important, is timed. This weekend, I actually spent some time with local professors at a conference, and I brought up the idea of goal setting with them. Just as we were sitting down eating dinner, trying to make conversation with them. And they all stated, which was really interesting, that they all have written goals. But they all had multiple written goals. So a lot of them had their 1-year plan. A lot of them had a 3-year plan. That was the common ones, 1 and 3. And a lot also had 5. These professors were lit professors at a local college, which is an extremely well-known literature program. So they're extremely successful, so that's why I wanted to pick their brain. So they had multiple ones. So think about that. You should probably have a 1-year goal. 3 can be kind of far for some people. So 1 year, maybe a 2-year. Go to 3 if you can kind of know where you want to go there. Another thing with the goals is they said that they do check in on their goal, and they have boxes at the bottom with dates of when they actually went through and, you know, took a look at their goal, and so they could kind of hold themselves accountable, which is really important in goal setting. So again, if your goal is to make $100,000 to save for a down payment on your new house by the end of December 2016 by getting more licenses and expanding your potential client base, that's a great goal as long as you have check-ins. You know, if you're going to take a look at those 3 sales a week, if you're going to take a look at the end of 4 weeks, I'm going to do an assessment of this goal and adjust it as needed. That's extremely powerful. If your goal is in 3 years to have 2 agents working under you so you can start growing your business and have enough residuals to spend time training them, that is powerful. Just make sure that you have specific measurable actions that are relevant and timed. And yes, for those of you that figured it out, it does spell smart. So some more things on goal setting here. You have to have them written. Keep them written and kind of keep it close to you. It's one of those things. I have mine on the wall in my office. I'm the only one who really gets to take a look at those. So write them down, keep them close to where you work. This should be something you can look at every day to help motivate you. Also, this is kind of a weird one. Psychologically, kind of keep it to yourself. It is proven that people will work harder when trying to prove something to themselves as well when it comes as far as goal setting goes. I know it's kind of odd. Not saying don't share it with loved ones. Absolutely, go tell them. Just something that you don't want to trump around the world, because the second that people start slipping in goals that they've told everybody, then they give up. If it's something that you kind of kept to yourself, kept to your loved ones, you're having a little issues and you're starting to adjust it, that's great. Another thing too that works for me is I'm a bit visual, so I like to add pictures in all my goals. So I put a picture of why I sell. What am I working for? Is it that new car? Is it that more money? Is it the nicer house? Is it that great vacation? Add the picture. I actually make mine as my desktop background, so I know what I am working towards. So every time I lock my computer, that's what I get to see is my goal. It's something that's in my head. It's something that is on my wall. It's something that is very close and important to me. And last but not least, these are not, completely concrete. You can monitor and adjust your goal as needed. If for some reason you're coming up on your goal really quick, that is fine. You can take it and move on. You can take it and make it a little harder for yourself. Give yourself some stretching room. If it's something that is maybe not exactly possible, maybe it's something you write into a 2-year goal. Maybe it's something that you lessen a little bit. They are completely flexible. They are fluid. Keep that in mind. Goals are made to inspire, not to tie you down. So again, as far as it goes with goal setting, SMART is extremely important. That's one of the things that you want to keep in mind. Also make sure that they are written. Keep it close to yourself. Put a picture of why you sell, and really don't be afraid to monitor and adjust them. I've adjusted my goals many a time, and you know what? It's worked pretty great for me. So if you have questions on anything from today, or if there's something you want me to cover next Motivational Monday, please don't be shy. Reach out by email at the email address below. It goes right to my training box. I check it all day long. It's on my phone. If you have that question, again, I'm going to say I guarantee 15 other people do have that question. And so I thought we'd end with a little bit here of just a nice one. Goals. Begin with the end in mind. Again, with it, you want to know how you're going to get to point A to point B. You have to have the point B in mind as well. If you need any help with your goal setting, you should know by now that I am here to make sure that you are successful. I'm here to help. Don't hesitate to reach out. That training box goes directly to me. So like all good goals, they begin with the end in mind, and I hope you have a great week and reach out if you need anything.